The AIM partnership is an ITM funded programme designed to meet the needs of the employability needs of offenders and those at risk of offending. So it's set up to develop innovative approaches to address some of those needs, and within that we've identified there are particular groups who benefit more from a distinct and different approach. For example, women offenders, Roma or travellers, and service veterans as an example. So we're looking at innovative approaches. We're also working transnationally across Europe, and we've made links with 4 different partners and undertaking a series of study visits, exchanging information and learning. And finally, and probably most importantly, the mainstreaming element of this. It's really important that the learning that we've developed, the lessons we've learned, don't end with the project, but that they're embedded for future use. Our project was based around 4 themes. The first of those was research and evaluation. The second was pilots and intervention. The third one, mainstream and dissemination. And fourthly, transnationality. So just going back to the research then, we commissioned our own research to get more information about the offender experience in accessing services across the 7 NOMS offender pathways. But we also made reference to existing research, particularly on what works in reducing offending, on desistance, and on, in particular, a reference to the findings from the Corsten report on working with women offenders. West Mercia Probation Trust are the lead partner. We provide £1.5 million match funding and administer the whole programme. So we're a statutory agency, and we work with currently 4 other key partners. They are YSS, who are a social inclusion charity working with socially excluded adults and young people, and they run a pilot for us working with offenders and their families. We have UBEAK Partnerships, who are a newly formed social enterprise and in themselves an outcome of AIM, and they've run pilot activity working with service veterans and with women. Thirdly, Accord Housing Group, who are a social housing association, particularly Fry Housing, who provide offender accommodation, ran a pilot working with linking residents in to employers, so an employer engagement programme. And finally, BES, that's Business Enterprise Support, who are a private sector company who've worked right across the region and providing business advice, promoting the use of social enterprise and business coaching, enterprise coaching for individuals who may be interested in starting their own businesses. Our pilot activities have all had an element of sensitivity to gender built into them, but we have particular projects that are focused on the needs of women. So for example, the work with families of offenders, we know it's more effective if you work with the whole family because it provides positive support to the offender and reduces the risk of reoffending, and the offender doesn't exist in isolation. And we know that women as family members will often provide positive support. We have worked effectively with women-only programmes in the community, recognising the complex needs of women and building on their levels of confidence and their existing strengths in order to improve their self-esteem, to inspire them to go forward. Our peer support models have been really effective there, and some of the women have then graduated and gone on to provide input into the subsequent programme, and that's had a really powerful impact on the next group of participants. Well, the success of the partnership, we've taken, say from the participants' point of view, we've had some really very positive feedback from individuals who felt inspired to move forwards. Even if they're not at the point of looking for work, it's helped them grow in their own self-esteem and to reshape their view of themselves. And we certainly have had people who've gone forward into work placements and then into employment. From a partner point of view, certainly all the partners have gained valuable knowledge and experience. There's been a great cross-fertilisation of ideas, and UBEAC partnerships, for example, is in itself a successful outcome of the AIM programme. And finally, thinking about the partnership as a whole, it's really gelled as a partnership, and we're now in a position of with having a realistic, sustainable plan for becoming an independent organisation that will carry on beyond the life of the ESF funding. Some of the key lessons we've learned from our work with our transnational partners, for example, on visit to Hungary, we saw their work using family conferencing with Roma groups, and we've been able to bring that back to the UK, and it is being used. A recent visit to Sweden, we learnt about their approach in intervening with prisoners with ADHD, which we're hoping to bring back and disseminate here. And I think our transnational partners have learnt from us about our approach with women offenders, because there is no equivalent model that we can find in Europe, and similarly our approach to social enterprise, which is again a different model to the ones that we've seen in Europe. And within the UK, we feel we've learnt important lessons about the development of social enterprise that will be of value to some of the smaller organisations emerging in the criminal justice system.